Welcome to the Own Your Life podcast, where our goal is to help bring hope, healing, and peace by sharing our experiences and inspiring you to own your life. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Own Your Life podcast. Today is episode 69, all about attitudes. So I've got a lot of questions today that we can ask ourselves about attitudes. I think it's very important that we realize that our attitude is our responsibility. John Maxwell said, we are responsible for our attitudes, and our attitude determines our approach to life. And that is so true because it is something that we are responsible for. I think so many people let things dictate how they feel, how they're, doing on a daily basis. And that is, that's obviously a choice you can make, or you can choose to control your attitude and choose your attitude, because you do have control over that. You do not have to succumb to whatever you're watching or listening or reading or whatever it is. That you, at the end of the day, determine your attitude. And of course, we are all about ownership and owning your life. And part of that is owning your attitude. So how can you own your attitude? I think the first thing is to be self-aware. How is it? How's your attitude doing? Especially with, how these past 18 months have been. How are you doing? I think that's a really important question, is to look into yourself and maybe see, and it's okay. We all lose our cool from time to time. Like, I am definitely not immune to that at all. So I would say, take a self inventory of it, of how have you been? How has your attitude been? Have you been really great lately, into where you've been, happy with your attitude, and not necessarily that you've just been happy all the time, but that you are pleased with your attitude and how you've handled maybe challenges with work, with maybe your spouse, your kids, obviously what's going on in the world, all of that, maybe your job, whatever. How are you handling that? So I think that that all can come down to how is your attitude and checking your attitude, because we can control that. And that is a very empowering thing, knowing that you don't have to succumb to what is around you, that you, at the end of the day, can choose what your attitude is. And the cool thing is, you can do it right now. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for a certain moment. I know so many of us wait for something to feel a certain way, or to have the certain mindset or attitude, like, oh, when I get this job, then I'll be happy. When I get this raise, then I'll be happy. When I have that house, then I'll be happy. And that's not the case. That's not how life works. And the funny thing is, so many people put the destination as the ultimate goal for everything. And then when they get there, they feel disappointed. And it's because it's not in the destination, it's the journey of it. And how is your attitude along the way? Are you just grumpy the entire time and maybe thinking, oh, I can't enjoy this or be happy or whatever, because I have to wait until I get whatever the goal is, whether it's, like I said before, a raise, or maybe you're getting married, or maybe you're having a kid, or maybe you're moving somewhere, or some big event that you're thinking, when that happens, then I will. And I know that can just be so dangerous, because sometimes that stuff never happens. So now you're putting all of your happiness, and maybe you're putting your whole life on hold because you're waiting for that one moment to happen. Oh, if this happens, then I'll be happy. And the good thing is that you can be happy right now. You don't have to wait for that. And a lot of times when you get there, that's not going to be what you thought it was. I know a lot of successful people that could tell you that when they hit a certain point, it was like, oh, that's it. Oh, okay. And they weren't as excited as maybe they thought they would have been, because they built it up so much during the journey. And then it was like, oh, okay, well, that was, it's okay, but it's not what I was thinking of in my mind. And I can relate to this to Christmas. There's so much build up to Christmas. Everybody loves the holiday season. Okay, maybe not everybody. A lot of people love the holiday season. I am one of them. My birthday's on Christmas, so there's also my excuse that I love it. So with that, there's so much buildup. Like, I'm sure some people have Christmas trees up right now, and there's no judgment. I've never put mine up that early. Usually it is like the day after Halloween. That's when I've done it, which that's also super early. I know there's a lot of people that wait. It has to be after Thanksgiving. I do like Thanksgiving, not going to discount that holiday. It's a great holiday. But it's the anticipation that so many people love. It's the Christmas music and doing all the things and seeing the lights and having pretty ornaments and decorating your house and getting all the presents ready and just the excitement of it and all the food and family and all of it is so great. And then the day comes and it happens and then it's over and you're like, oh, well, that sucks. At least that's how I felt before. Like, man, like, oh, it's almost like the buildup to Christmas was better than the actual day. I think that so many of us can do that. But with attitudes, like, I feel like that's also what we do with goals. It's the same thing as kind of the Christmas analogy that we've built up these things. I can't be this certain way or be this type of person until I get XYZ. And I would just challenge you to not live by that way. Go by the way that you can control your attitude now. You can control your happiness. You can choose to be happy. That's a cool thing. You can choose to be happy. You don't have to wait for somebody else to make you happy. And that's actually really dangerous and a boundary issue if you are dependent on other people to make you happy, or things. Maybe it's material items that you're dependent on that to make you happy, or maybe it's money. And any of that, though, is not healthy. You need to be able to make yourself happy, or to do things. Maybe it's things that you're doing, as such as maybe taking a walk, maybe enjoying nature, things like that. Maybe you're exercising, going for a walk, whatever it is, that is making you happy. And that's something that you're doing because you can control that. So I would definitely challenge you that you can make yourself happy and not to depend on others to make you happy. And don't depend on others to change your attitude. And yes, there are things that people can say and do that can make you flustered and upset, but it's your choice to either stay with that or to change it and to decide, you know what, this happened out of my control. I'm not going to choose to react that way. I'm going to choose to react a different way. And now you have to be careful with this, in that you're not stuffing emotions, because that is not healthy either. Don't ignore whatever happens. Say something bad happened at work or whatever. Don't just stuff that away and be like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. Maybe it was a really big deal. Maybe something happened and you didn't get a promotion or you didn't get a raise, or maybe your workload got cut or something happened to you and you're taking this not very well, which I don't blame you for that. But if you're not actually dealing with that and maybe working through those emotions, then you can end up stuffing it. And that's not what I'm talking about by choosing a different attitude. You can still go through hard things and choose to have a different attitude about it. And that's so applicable with everything that's happening in our world, that we can choose to have a different attitude about it. We can choose to have a positive attitude. We can choose to have hope, because Own Your Life is all about hope, healing, and peace. So you can choose to have hope in this time. There's always hope. And that is so encouraging to me, because I've never let that go, and I'm not going to. And that I know there's going to be a lot of healing that's going to come out of all of what we're going through, because it's that pressure that's going to make, people rise to the top and leaders rise to the top. And there's going to be a lot of healing. I know we haven't seen a bunch yet, but it's going to happen, and you can be part of that. And I just think that you can choose to have peace too. You can choose to have peace in the moments where there's so much crazy going on around you. That is a choice. And again, it's not stuffing emotions. It's still dealing with things that you're feeling and going through. But at the end of the day, you get to choose your attitude, which is so great. So don't be intimidated by that, and really embrace that, and realize that that's something you have control over. And that's an area that you can own your life. And another thing is, what are you speaking into existence? Because it is part of all of that, and how you're thinking and what you're saying and doing and your attitude. A lot of that comes from your thoughts and comes from what are you speaking into existence. Are you saying negative things all the time and you don't even realize it? One of the biggest things I think so many of us say that's very negative, and we say it all the time, is, oh, I'm tired. And it's so easy to get wrapped up in that, because it's a very normal thing that all of us say. But if you keep saying I'm tired, you know what that's going to do? That's going to reinforce in your brain that you're tired. Or you could choose to say, I'm getting some energy back right now. I'm starting to feel energized. I feel great. You can speak what you want into existence. And this sounds so silly, and some of you are probably rolling your eyes like, yeah, right, that doesn't work. That's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I don't believe in that. but it's actually the truth. That if you've ever read the book Hung by the Tongue, I would encourage you to get it. It's a very short book, and it's just called Hung by the Tongue. It's got a funny little cartoon on the front, but it is biblically based, and it does talk all about how we have power of life and death in our tongue, and we do. I 100% believe in that. Sounds silly. It's true. That if you speak a bunch of negative over your life, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to do that, I feel like crap, I don't like that, they're mean, like saying bad things about people, saying bad things about your kid, maybe your spouse, your job, you're complaining all the time, anything like that, that's going to affect you. Think of the person who's doing that, and think of it when you're around people like that. Do you really want to hang around somebody who's just complaining and moaning and groaning all the time? I know I don't. And I know I'm not immune to that. I've definitely been a complainer before, but I've also tried to change that and worked on it and been more self-aware that now when it does happen, I try to catch myself if I can and not go down that path, because I do believe in the power of what we are speaking into existence does affect us. So when you're around people like that, you obviously don't want to really be around them because it's bringing you down. Like other people like that can bring you down, or you can bring yourself down just by thinking, oh, woe is me, and this is all terrible, and just thinking all these horrible things. Or you can choose to change that, take that thought captive, and you can think positively. You can speak positive, even if it's not 100% accurate of how you're feeling at that moment. You can speak it into existence. I'm not telling you to lie to yourself, but speak what you want as if it were. So saying, I'm starting to feel energized today. I'm excited for today. Today's going to be a great day. I say that all the time. I look at Marley, my dog, because Matt travels for work, so he's not here when I'm on a normal work day. I look at her and I say, Marley, we're going to have a great day today. I don't care that I say it to my dog. I'm sure some of you talk to your dogs too like that. Say it to your kids. Say it to your spouse if they're there. Say it to yourself in the mirror. We're going to have a great day today. And that does make a difference because you are rewiring the neural pathways in your brain. So if you keep saying positive things and thinking positive things, even write yourself little notes, maybe write a note on your computer or in your car or whatever that says, have a great day today, or a smiley face or something that just gets you to think on a positive note. I think that is very impactful, and that's going to change how your attitude is if you are, taking those thoughts captive and being mindful of what you're thinking, what you're speaking. It's going to affect how you think, how you speak, how you act, your behavior, your attitude is going to affect all of that. And it's going to affect the people around you. People might notice a difference. Maybe if you are negative right now, they'll be like, oh, something's different. What's going on here? And you actually attract people to you when you are positive. People like being around positive people. People like being around people that have a good attitude no matter what is going on. And I know a lot of this you can also see like in sports. When you see teams win and teams lose, like how are they treating each other? Are they a good sport about it, whether they won or they lost? Because you can be a bad sport on either side. You can be a pretty bad winner if you're like rubbing it in other people's faces and being really arrogant about it. You can also be a really bad loser if you're pouting and, just being a really sore loser about it. Obviously, that's two extremes, but you can see that it didn't matter for if they won or lost. You could still have a bad attitude, or you could still have a good attitude, whether you won or lost. You could be respectful of the other team or whatever if you did lose, but, know that you'll try harder next time or whatever it is, instead of being, all moaning and groaning and, pouting in the corner because you're upset that you lost, or being mean to the other team if they won, that you can choose to have the good attitude. So think about that analogy too, if that helps it put into a better perspective for you. But I think it's so important for us to look at our attitudes, especially now. I know the holidays are coming up, which for some people is a very exciting, fun time. Family, friends, food, all of it. They love it so much. They love the decorations, the music, all of it. And for some people, it's really hard. It's a really stressful time. Maybe they don't like holidays for some reason. Maybe they've had bad experiences, bad memories. Maybe it's something with family. Maybe they just lost their job with all this COVID stuff, with all the vaccine requirements. Maybe now they're not going to have, the kind of holidays that they wanted because they just lost their job due to a vaccine mandate at their job. So it's important now to do the work and be self-aware of your attitude. And a lot of our messages have to do with being self-aware, because it's all about personal responsibility and ownership and owning your life, not your kid's life, not your spouse's life, but you are owning your life. And that comes with owning your attitude. Your attitude is yours. That's your responsibility for you to choose if you're going to have a good attitude or a bad attitude about no matter your situation that you're going through. Because you can see people going through the same thing, two different people going through the same thing that don't even know each other. One of them can have an amazing attitude about it, and one can have a terrible attitude about it. So it's really, at the end of the day, it's your choice. And I don't know what your situation is, but I know that if you don't like where you are at right now, that you can change it and you can have the attitude that you want. It all comes down to a choice. And I would encourage you to use tools to help yourself get better at changing your attitude if you don't like where you're at right now, such as putting notes, maybe on your bathroom mirror, maybe on your computer, in your car, somewhere that you're going to see it. Maybe you have alerts on your phone. I've done that before, that pop up every couple of hours and it has something encouraging on it. Maybe you have a gratitude journal, things like that are going to help focus your mind in the attitude that you want to have. So with that, I hope this message was helpful. Please share, please subscribe, please rate and review us. And until next time, own your life, because your life is your responsibility. Thank you all for listening. If this added value to you, please click subscribe and rate and review us. You can also find us at Own Your Life Co. on Instagram and Facebook, and ownyourlifeco.com. And as always, own your life, because your life is your responsibility.